Hello everyone, are you ready to participate in Ericsson Educate Tech Traveler game? Are you curious about the development of telecommunication technology history and its future? I am Sam from Group 5 with my group members Nuria, Anissa, Tan Sining and Wan Muhammad Arif. My team will lead you go through the basic concept of telecommunication technology. Don't worry, there will be a little bit of equations. I am sure that you all can understand it easily after this video. Let us start.
First of all, what is modulation? Modulation is the process of shifting the frequency of the original information signal from a low frequency range to a higher range by using the carrier signal. Why is modulation important in communication? To transmit the message signals that have a very low frequency, due to which these signals cannot be transmitted over long distances. What does it mean? For example, let's say you got a balloon representing audio signal. You need to deliver it to a further place. What can be done? Throw it directly? It definitely will not travel far. What if the balloon is filled with helium gas? Now, the balloon can travel far away. This is because low-frequency signals like audio signals are incapable of propagating to long distances on their own. Thus, when the information signal is modulated with the higher frequency of the carrier signal, the frequency of modulated output will increase and fulfill the longer propagation and wider range for the user.
Let's have a look at the types of analog modulation. There are three types of analog modulation, which are amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulation. Amplitude modulation was created before frequency modulation and phase modulation. Amplitude modulation is defined as the change in the amplitude of the carrier signal according to the instantaneous information signal. On the other hand, frequency modulation occurs when the instantaneous angular frequency of the carrier signal is varied linearly according to the modulating signal. The change in the frequency of the carrier signal makes the frequency modulation system more complicated to engineers than amplitude modulation. Phase modulation is similar to frequency modulation, but it alters the phase of the carrier signal instead. As frequency modulation and phase modulation are modifying the angle component in a wave, they are also being called angle modulation.
Other than analog modulation, there are also three basic digital modulations. The pulse signals will be modulated with analog carrier signal that is suitable for the channel use. There are three types of digital modulations, which are amplitude shift keying (ASK), frequency shift keying (FSK), and phase shift keying (PSK). Digital modulation is similar to analog modulation, in which the modulating signal will vary the amplitude, frequency, and the phase of the carrier signal. The only difference is the modulation signal is digital signal. In ASK, which is amplitude shift keying, if digital input contributes 1 towards the systems, the amplitude and the frequency of the carrier signal will remain unchanged for the ASK output signals. On the other hand, it will be lowered down or approximately no output when digital input contributes 0 to the system. Apart from that, for the FSK, which is frequency shift keying, if digital input contribute 1 toward the system, the frequency of the FSK output or modulated signals will be faster than the carrier signal. The amplitude remains unchanged. Contradictorily, the frequency will be slower down when digital input contributes 0 toward the system. the amplitude and frequency of the carrier signal remain the same. The phase will change when the digital input change from value 1 to 0 and vice versa. If the digital value remains the same, the carrier wave will be continuous and there will be no phase change.
Multi-level shift keying is being used in order to increase data transmission speed. Instead of transmitting a bit at one time, transmitting a symbol that can represent multiple bits will make the data transmission faster. Baud rate is used to measure the speed of data transmission. Baud rate is defined as symbol rate or symbol per second. Multi-level shift keying can be applied to every shift keying method, but the multiple PSK has proven to be the most useful because ASK will easily be affected by noise and FSK require a large bandwidth. By using 2 bits per symbols in PSK, we will have 4 symbols in total represented by phase changes of 45 degree, 135 degree, 225 degree and 315 degree. This is called QSPK or 4 PSK. In the same manner, we also can have 8 PSK, 16 PSK or 32 PSK. However, the probability of error will increase as the number of levels increase. The symbols located on the constellation diagram will get very close and difficult to distinguish. To solve this problem, the communication engineers came up with the idea of combining the ASK and PSK to separate the symbols further apart on the constellation diagram. Then there comes the APSK, which is the amplitude phase shift keying, and the QAM, which is the quadrature amplitude modulation.
Why digital modulation is important in communication? The telecommunication system was changing towards digital due to the rapid advancement in the electronic fields. Hence, information signals also must be changed into digital form to be transmitted through the digital communication system. Digital modulation gives many advantages that include its immunity to noise, easy to store and processing, encryption allows, and error correction detection can be utilized. The analog signal will undergo sampling, quantization, and line coding first before being modulated and transmitted. An analog signal must be sampled at least twice the frequency of the message signal to avoid aliasing. Quantization is the process of estimating the sampled amplitude into a digital value that is suitable for coding. Line coding is representing binary 1 and 0 in several formats in pulse code modulation. With these digital modulation technologies, modern telecommunication technologies like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, and any other communication technologies are able to function. That's all for this video content. Please kindly use any type of QR scanner to scan QR below as the portal to Ericsson Educate Tech Traveler game. Good luck on the upcoming quiz. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.